I'm working on a movie where I'm going to have two different Predators, so I wanted to have two different styles so they don't both look the same. So I modified the armor and the accessories that I had before, and this is what I came up with to modify my Predator costume. So here's how I did my costume. The feet are the same as on my other costume. These are rubber monster feet that were a little bit too big, so I cut off the front so it fits up over the front of my foot. And this is a knee pad from soccer or lacrosse or something or other, but it had a shape that I liked, so I painted it silver, and that goes on top of my foot. The new shin armor is made from catcher's armor, catcher's shin guards, and they have straps that go around the back. The skin on the legs is made from a pair of leotards that just happened to match the color that I needed, so I painted it to match the mask with brown splotches and black stripes and a couple of black spots all over the place. The upper body is made from a Rambo Halloween costume, which also happened to have the right color, so I painted that to match the mask too, and it's got the same black spots and brown splotches all over it. This mesh netting is a crotchless body stocking that I got online, and it covers the entire body from the neck all the way down to the feet, so that works pretty good. This is a belt that I attached the loincloth to. The front loincloth is made out of just a piece of leather, and there's another piece of leather around in the back. The gloves are just cotton work gloves, and they happen to be the right color tan that I needed, so I painted them too to match the rest of the costume. And to make fingernails, I just cut little fingernails out of plastic and painted them and glued them on there. The bomb gauntlet is made from a shin guard, and it's got elastic straps that go around your arm to hold it on. And I glued a whole bunch of greeblies onto it. These are some tubes, some pieces of foamy, a couple pieces of plastic. Unfortunately, it doesn't open and close like the real bomb gauntlet did, but still looks pretty good. On the other side is the blade gauntlet, and that's also made from a shin guard with some greeblies glued onto it. The blades are made from plastic, and I have these bamboo barbecue skewers glued all the way down to make them stiffer so they don't flop around and bend. And inside this top cover of foamies is a very narrow plastic box that runs the whole length here. And what I did was glued the back of both blades to a little piece of wood that just barely fits inside that box, and that lets the blades slide back and forth inside the box underneath here. And I have a little plastic stopper attached to the inside here so it doesn't come all the way out, but that's how the blades go in and out. The armor is made from pieces that I cut from some rubber floor mat for cars, which had just the right shape to it, and I liked the texture that I had, so I cut these pieces all out, glued them all together, painted it up, and it looks pretty good. It attaches to the back armor piece with straps of leather. There's one going over the shoulder, and there's supposed to be one going around the side here, but I haven't attached that yet, so that's still on the way. This is my trophy necklace. This is actually an aquarium ornament that I found at the pet store. It's a saber-toothed tiger skull. What I did was broke off the lower jaw because that didn't look so good. But then I threaded a leather thong through the eye holes, and that hangs on the front there, so that looks pretty good. The cannon is something that I made by modifying a Iron Man shoulder rocket toy. And I ended up discarding most of that. The only thing I kept was the support piece here and the middle piece here. The front part I cut that all off, and the back part I cut that all off and made new. This is a piece of PVC pipe on the inside here, and there's a foamy shroud that runs under it and some plastic tubing that runs along the top. And then for the back part, I took two peanut butter jar lids and glued them to a tube that I made out of foamy, attached that to the support piece here, and then glued all kinds of greeblies on it. So these little gear things are all made from foamy, These letters on the top here, those are cut out from foamy. Got some more foamy things down along the side here, so those are just little greeblies all over the place. The backpack is made from a piece of aluminum air conditioning conduit that I picked up at a Home Depot, and I thought that looked pretty good. And what I did was took a thick, flat piece of craft foam and glued it onto both sides, and then put a whole bunch of greeblies on here. So there's some tubing here. These are all electrical connectors. These are some little plastic things. I don't know what they're for, but they look pretty good. This is the head off of a lawn sprinkler. Some more little plastic things here. I got a corrugated tube that runs to a PVC coupling at the base of the cannon. And then the backpack attaches to the back piece of armor, which is made out of a rubber car floor mat. This is the Rubies mask that I modified, and what I did was cut off those crappy plastic dreadlocks that come with the mask because they look terrible, and I added my own dreadlocks that I made out of stuff called backer rod, or another name for it is caulking tube, and that's a foam rubber tube kind of stuff. It's used to patch up cracks in floors and hallways and stuff while you're spackling, so you can get it in a Home Depot or a Lowe's. And what I did was cut little slits into the mask all the way through it, and then inserted the end of each dreadlock about an inch or so inside there, and that holds it in. You don't have to glue them or anything. They're pretty sturdy all by themselves. And then for these beads on the dreadlocks, what I did was took some PVC pipe and cut it to the right length, painted it gold, and slid it up on the end, and positioned everything where I wanted it to be, and they turned out looking pretty good. The mask is the modified biomass that comes with the Rubies. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's really, really thin and really, really flimsy. So the first thing I did was put a layer of fiberglass on the inside to stiffen it up and make it tougher so it doesn't warp as easily. And then I dressed it up a bit. I have these tubes that I glued onto the sides here. These are pieces of foamy on the front here. I have a little coupling tube on the side here. This is a window screen that I cut out and put inside there and painted that silver, so it looks pretty good. Then we got some little foamies on the front here to dress it up a little bit. I used two different textures of paint. This is the textured spray paint, and this is smooth paint up on the top. That way I have two different textures, and that looks pretty good. Then I added some LED lights on the inside for the laser sight and put the switch here on the outside, so I can turn those on and off. And that turned out pretty good. I also made a second set of armor that I haven't assembled yet, but I made all the pieces for it. This is a piece that's cut from a rubber car floor mat, and this is going to be a shoulder piece that fits on this side like that. And this is another piece that I cut from the floor mat, which fits around the side. And then this part attaches up here to the shoulder cannon, and another strap goes across underneath my shoulder and around to the backpack. The backpack is going to hang down behind here and then attach up this way to the strap, so everything holds together with leather straps. This is the second backpack that I did. And if you look inside here, you can see how I put it together. These are two pieces of aluminum air conditioning conduit. I attached them in the middle and then put flat, thick pieces of craft foam on both sides, and then glued a whole bunch of greeblies on here. So we got some corrugated tubing, we got some pieces of foamy here, some wire, a whole bunch of little electrical connectors. This is a PVC connector. This is the head from a lawn sprinkler. A couple pieces of pipe here, some little round things. I don't even know what those are, but they look pretty good. And then we have some corrugated tubing. The arm for the cannon I made out of two flat pieces of wood that I glued some tubing on, glued some greeblies all over the place. There's actually a little hinge here with a screw that goes through it so that I can loosen that and move this up or down so I get the right height on it. and then tighten it back up. This is the cannon that I made for it. It's almost entirely made out of foamies, craft foam. Inside here there's a PVC tube, and what I did was built a foam box around that and then made a tube out of foamies, cut some circles out for the side, cut out all these little pieces for greeblies and glued those all over the place. This is all one piece, this shroud part on the top here. So I glued that all on. And then I glued the whole thing to the top of my cannon arm, and it works, looks pretty good.